into Christmas with the Movie Men. It is a COVID Christmas. We are all here. We have Crashing the Movie Men. We have Paige Counts.
Couldn't help myself. Had to get involved with the Movie Men. It's Christmas. I can talk Christmas movies, I think.
Yes, we can all talk Christmas movies. Of course, Keegan Matheson here, movie man extraordinaire. And so we're all talking Christmas movies. Last year we did one of these, and we talked about a lot of Christmas movies, but we left some out.
And my husband was quick to point out which ones we left out. He is the movie phenom in our family, and he pointed out very quickly that we left out National Lampoon and the Christmas Vacation, as well as Home Alone. So I guess we'll start there. Home Alone, do you like 1, 2, 3, or 4?
And did you know there was a 4?
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know there was a 4. I'm going to admit that straight up. Didn't know.
Okay. You got any thoughts?
Joe Pesci's in the first one. That's all that matters.
That's all. Well, is he not in the second one? I don't remember.
I don't think he makes a cameo. Does he make a cameo?
Because he's in New York and he's lost.
The Wet Bandits, yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
Trump.
Yeah, there you go. That's the Trump one.
It's Trump instead.
I don't know if he's in that one.
I don't think he is. I think he's just lost.
Yeah.
You know. So anyway, there is a 4-pack. We have the DVD 4-pack at my house because my son was so into them. And his actual favorite, there was the one that everybody knows, and John Hughes directed that. John Hughes directed all the first 3, and all the first 3 were released to theaters. But the 4th one was straight to TV, and it was called Home Alone 4, Taking Back the House. And it stars a kid named Mike Weinberg, who's probably 30 now, and and French Stewart from Third Rock from the Sun and Mom.
Okay.
You know, he was the bad guy. But anyway, it was like a 4-pack with all 4 movies, and my son really loved the 4th one, mainly because it was like a jewel heist kind of thing. And the neighbors next door were robbing each house in the neighborhood. They went to an abandoned house, and that's what French Stewart's doing. But the little kid uses remote control cars to spy on them. He has like a GoPro on a remote car.
And I can see the appeal of that.
And that's why my son loved it. He loved that movie, and you know, but I mean, it's incredibly forgettable. But he always loved that one in particular. But going back to the movies we forgot, not just Home Alone, but Christmas Vacation, and I think the reason we forgot those is because they air so much over the holiday season.
If you've seen it once, you've probably seen it 20 times by now. And at my house, you not only see the movie, you hear the movie quoted as it's on TV. So it's like a live action version of Christmas Vacation, which gets a little old, I'm not gonna lie. Love the family, but Christmas Vacation with my family gets a little old.
Okay, do you have a favorite scene?
I think I'm gonna have to think about it. Keegan, I'm gonna let you.
She defers.
All I remember from the Christmas Vacation movie is the picking out of the Christmas tree, and they're like putting it on top of the car. Am I remembering this correctly?
I think so. Yeah.
Same movie. I think that's the only thing I remember from Christmas Vacation. So that's why I got omitted from my top 10 Christmas movies.
But have you watched it? Have you seen the film?
I've seen the whole thing. Chevy Chase and all. It's wonderful.
I would suggest it is a National Lampoon movie, so I would suggest that you see it on home video or someplace where it's not on broadcast TV because they cut stuff out.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's cursing and things happen, and they cut stuff out. But when I saw it in the theater when it first came out, I laughed at every line just like everybody else. My favorite thing that still makes me laugh no matter where I see it, when I see it, is when the older couple, Aunt Edna or whatever, they come in and they bring the gifts and they hand Chevy Chase the box, and it's got the live cat in it.
Oh.
And he actually moves like it's got a cat in it. Now, I don't know if they put a critter in the box when they filmed it, but he is trying to balance the box, and you can really see that. And I thought that was cool, but it still makes me laugh when I see that the old lady wrapped up the cat. But it is a lot funnier if you do watch the because there's a lot of cursing. I think Chevy Chase curses a lot in that movie.
He does, and Cousin Eddie is, quite colorful, as he is in all of the National Lampoon movies.
And in real life, apparently.
And in real life.
And in real life, because he's had some crazy moments.
Got to love Leonard from Big Bang Theory in that movie.
Yeah, because Leonard is the boy.
Yeah.
What is his name in all
Johnny
of
Gold.
It's like,
Well,
I'm thinking of the character
name.
name, Chip. It's Chip.
Oh, Chip.
Chip is the kid's name.
Didn't they do another movie where it was like they went to Paris?
Yeah,
They just
European
continued on,
Vacation.
That's the one I remember the most, and that was like the silliest thing in the world. I love it though; it's pretty funny.
I like them all, but I remember Chip was Anthony Michael Hall in the first one, and then I don't know who he is in the second one. Is it Galecki again in the second one?
I think he may have done, Galecki may have done 2 of the, but I could be wrong about that.
Well, because he's a little short, so he could probably get by with the years going by.
No.
He could get by with the years going by, being short and doing that. So oh well.
None of us are touching the
Well,
top
no,
shelf
definitely
ourselves.
not. I am not the tallest person in my house anymore. So.
Oh, is he already up there?
Yeah, yes.
Oh,
My
wow.
son has surpassed me. I am not the tallest person in the house anymore. So, and he's so happy about it. He is ever so happy.
That is a big moment in a boy's life.
And that's the reason why he likes the not rated Home Alone.
No, he gets mad. I actually made him watch the not rated or the theatrical cut of Smokey and the Bandit, and he was very offended by all the cursing. And I was like, that's what made it funny, was because as a kid I saw, I'm beating my microphone, but as a kid I saw Jackie Gleason on everything, and then to see Jackie Gleason curse was that was entertainment right there. He could have said anything, and that was entertainment. But is there anything else that we missed last year that we should discuss? Did you think of?
You have down here Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas.
I'll tell you, I made notes. I went to Freeform's website and saw what the 25 Days of Christmas was going to be.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I went through the movie, and oddly enough, these are about all the movies. They just keep showing them again. But we don't have what's the one with Ralphie? And Shoot Your Eye Out, Kid?
Oh, yeah,
Christmas Story.
Christmas Story, which TNT made that movie because they showed it 24 hours a day.
Mhm.
And so they kind of promoted that movie and had that.
And I think they're planning to do it again this year.
Yeah, but they've done it for a long time. I remember the old TNT logo and them doing it, and we'd watch it. We watched it like one after the other. We'd just keep watching it.
Did that make you want a BB gun?
No, I had a BB gun. I had a worse BB gun than he did. I had one that you could continually cock and build up the pressure, and it would like totally obliterate a tin can. So we, now my parents didn't buy it. We found it, which is even weirder. We found it. So, there was apartments behind us, and somebody had chucked it out or something, and we found it and cleaned it up, and went around shooting things in the neighborhood.
Just went around.
Which is why I didn't have a BB gun as a child, because they were afraid I would go around shooting things, including my sister. So that probably is the reason I did not have a BB gun as a child.
And
Had a cap gun.
My sister crawled through the weeds at the kid across the street and sniped him from across the street and shot him in the back with the BB gun.
What's the age difference between you and your sister?
4 years.
4 years. Okay, so that was like you had to get the edge on her, basically.
Younger or older?
Yeah.
I'm the oldest.
You're
So
older.
you're
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yeah.
they torment the little one.
I would say after, I'm sorry, sis, but I think sis looks older. But that's why I thought you were the younger one.
She might sue for defamation.
She might sue for
She might.
defamation. She only sees me like twice a year, so she.
And she probably won't even be watching. So we're
Probably
good.
not.
We're good.
We're good. Never mind that. I didn't say that. But. And now you have an older sister.
I do have an older sister, 3 years, and that's plenty long enough for her to let me know that she's basically my second mother.
Yeah, I have two older sisters. One was 3 years older, and one was 2 years older. So.
But I actually like my family. It's crazy.
Well, I know, but that's and it's really weird because we try to get our kids. We have a boy and a girl, and they just have total disdain for each other.
Really?
And we're just like, at some point you guys are going to be it.
Mm-hmm.
nice.
That's what Mom tells me all the time. It's like,
Yeah.
one of these days we'll be gone and you'll have to deal with each other.
Yeah, you'll have to just deal with each other.
All I care about is getting the dining room table when they're gone. That's all I care about.
Really?
It's
Must
Wow.
be a nice
fantastic.
dining room table.
Wow, it's
Is
taking
it like a
dark
family
turn.
heirloom, or what's the deal?
No, it's just very nice wood.
Oh, okay. I was like, I was trying to think what was so great about this.
What's so great about the dining room table?
It's the best table of all time.
And do you get out to special china during Christmas? You get out
No, the
special china?
special china. I was wondering, like, is there a certain dish you associate with Christmas? Because, I mean, Thanksgiving, it's all turkey, it's, cranberry sauce, it's all that good stuff.
I guess it depends on what your family does, because I kind of have 2 or 3 that
Okay.
I associate, but that's just me. Fruitcake, just because you see the little man in the cart with the fruitcake, and everybody used to give them away when I was a kid.
Yep.
Yes.
And they are in the grocery store. I did actually see one in the wild. But that, and my family would stay up really late on Christmas Eve. We did all our stuff on Christmas Eve, and they would stay up so late that they decided to make pancakes. And they would make pancakes at like 2:30 in the morning. And so that's what my family would do. And so I think pancakes. Now, my wife's family, they always did the pork loin biscuits on Christmas morning. And so we do that now. But yeah, I remember pancakes were big with my family late at night. What about you, Paige? What was your family dish?
I can't name a single dish. When I think of Christmas, I think of homemade Christmas candy. That probably says a lot about my personality and my eating habits. So please don't judge me. But really, that's what I think about, because my mom comes from a very large family. And so Christmas was always a time together, but everybody brought a dish. Mm-hmm. So it was like a big covered dish meal. Mm-hmm. And there wasn't necessarily, there's the Christmas ham or whatever. So we had a lot of stuff. But the one thing I always remember, for some reason, we used my grandmother's washer and dryer. That's where desserts went. And it was an orange bowl and a green bowl. The green bowl had her chocolate mint candy in it. The orange bowl had peanut butter candy in it.
Ooh.
So that's all. It was always my first stop was the
washing machine.
The washing machine. I went to the washing machine first. I learned very early on, if you want it, you have to grab it first. So I didn't really care about the main dishes, side dishes. I went for the candy.
I mean, if you think about Christmas, it's about the dessert table, and it's like all this stuff is spread out. Never any other time of year, you don't have the cookies, you don't have the brownie or the no bakes, and they're just all sitting out there for you the taking, so you can gain 80 pounds, and just keep hitting it and hitting the dessert bar the whole time, I think. And my mom mentioned that every year she's made a cheese ball. That's like the one consistent cheese ball. I don't know if it's like just because you have like the little food or little crackers.
Yeah, snacky
stuff that you get on Christmas. So that's probably what I associate with Christmas the most.
Did you have a big family get together? Huge thing? Yeah,
we used to. I mean, 2020 is weird, but hopefully everybody's staying safe out there.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea. But this year, but it's like Paige was talking about. You had tables and stuff was stuck out in the washing machine, and my aunt would have a big thing in her basement, and there was stuff on the washing machines, and there was a big freezer down there, and it was basically a table. Then they had a card table, and then there was people over there picking and playing. The family members with banjos and stuff and dulcimers. So it was crazy.
And the thing I remember about my grandmother's house was it was not a big house. So you try to put 50 people in a 2-bedroom home.
Not socially distanced?
They were not socially distanced.
Not at all.
You ate wherever you could.
Everybody's like sitting there with paper plates on their knees.
You have your paper plates on your knees. I often ate on the stairways.
Kids always eat on the stairways.
Because, I could sit there. It was never like, anybody had my grandmother was the only person who had an assigned chair or seat.
Oh, really? That's cool.
But otherwise, it was every man, woman, and child for themselves.
Fight!
That's crazy. But speaking of food and food stuff, is there any Christmas movies that you associate with any of that?
I remember the original Christmas Carol. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's the Ghost of Christmas Present. And he has this gigantic spread.
Oh, it's the cornucopia.
Yes, the
Uh-huh.
cornucopia. You remember this?
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's the ultimate Christmas feast right there.
Yeah.
Whatever that guy's got going on, it's amazing.
But then he had the two creepy kids at his legs.
You know,
That might be
Spoiler.
more real than you.
that might be more real than you give it credit for.
Yeah.
There's
Hey,
always
what
creepy
was
kids.
what were they? Like one was like starvation or
Yeah.
something, and something else. It was
Yeah,
like
it was always
man's pity and man's anger or something.
man's laughter.
Man's laughter. So, but and how many times have you seen that story retold, The Christmas Carol? I mean,
So
there's
many
so
times.
many. Disney's filmed it 3 times.
And I saw an ad the other day. Hallmark's doing a version of it in their Christmas movies, which are very predictable, but now they're adapting the Christmas Carol to the Hallmark genre
Formula.
of movies.
Right.
There you go, folks.
Wow.
He was an unsuspecting man.
Yes.
Now he would have to be a single bachelor and have
Yeah.
a dog to be on Hallmark and
Yeah,
do
there you go.
it. So you know.
Yeah. Cute puppy.
A
That's
cute
big golden
puppy.
retriever.
But thinking about that, now there has been on Broadway a Christmas Carol as a one-man show, and Sir Patrick Stewart did that,
That's all you need.
and he did the whole thing
Yeah.
himself. He did the whole thing for 2 hours on stage, and was every character, and did the whole thing. Speaking of Disney's Christmas Carol. Now, have you seen the new one, the new animated one with Jim Carrey that came out in 2009? I say new, but
Yeah.
it was new to me when it came out.
Yes, I have seen it.
Okay, what are your thoughts?
The Ghost of Christmas Future is, oh my god, terrifying. every version that they do of the future ghost is just more and more terrifying. Like they're just going to be basically Grim Reaper with all the flames next. That's the next step for Ghost of Christmas Future. He's just ridiculously scary.
Well, he's scary in just the silence. Like he
Right.
doesn't say anything and
Exactly.
just points, and that's scary in itself.
My favorite Christmas Carol, though, I think it has to be the Mickey version.
Really, the Mickey
Yes.
version?
Yes, I mean, why not? It's
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse. Oh boy. The Tiny Tim is so cute, which he always is cute though.
Yeah.
Tiny Tim.
I don't know if it's my favorite version, but it is my favorite Disney version to see the original with Mickey
The Mickey
Mouse
Mouse.
and the wholesomeness of it, I think.
Yeah, that's good. And the Muppets one, of course. That one's pretty good too.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the 3 they filmed. They've done those. The newer one, Robert Zemeckis did that with Jim Carrey, and that's another Jim Carrey Christmas movie because we were talking about How the Grinch Stole Christmas,
Oh yes.
and that he had done that. But anyway, it was done. It wasn't done by Disney Animation. They did it in a motion capture thing, the exact same way they did Polar Express and Beowulf. And it's probably the best one of those. I think it was the last one to come out, and it was like the best animated one. But I just remember it being so sharp, the picture being so sharp at the time when I saw it in the theater, and I thought, man, it's too sharp. It's too crisp, I thought. But by that time, I think they'd improved the animation of doing that, if you go back and look at them.
Right.
So, any thoughts on any of that, anything?
No, but you did mention the Grinch, and we were talking before we started shooting that we could probably spend an hour on which version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas is the best.
Mhm.
I personally like the original one. Just true
Just
to
the original special.
cartoon, original special. I'm probably showing my age here, but
No, you're not.
that one just really appeals to me. The other ones, I'm like, they tried.
I like that one. Let's go with that one. I think that's the consensus favorite. Let's go with the animated one.
Yeah, the original animated movie with Chuck Jones, and you had Boris Karloff doing the voiceover, and then you talk about your mean one, Mr. Grinch,
Mhm.
the guy singing that, you know that voice, especially like me and Paige will know it. You might not, but that guy was the original voice of Tony the Tiger. You're great.
Oh.
They're great. And so when you hear it, as a kid, it kind of resonated with you that you knew that voice from somewhere. But anyway, I think that one's the best because it's concise, because it is just the book that Dr. Seuss wrote, and it's straight to it, and then you can't beat Boris Karloff and the British accent. And
What happened with Tony the Tiger? Like, did he get on some roids or something? Because
what do you
like,
mean? He's
at the
super now.
beginning, he was like Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes. Or was that Hobbes? I get them
Yeah,
too.
Hobbs.
He was
He
Hobbes.
Hobbes. Yeah, he was like skinny, and then he like bulks up, and now he's just like, he's a beefcake.
Well, I guess they wanted him to seem, like a healthy breakfast, and like
Right.
he was more
Right.
athletic. And then now it's to the extreme, just like everything else.
But isn't he also working alongside Shaq right now? Isn't that who's in the commercials with him?
Yeah, you got to beef up the
You gotta
animation if
beef
you got
up.
like a giant
mean-
standing next to you.
So I think that's what happened. Now his partner is Shaq, so he had to beef up a little bit.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
so.
They didn't beef up the general though for Shaq, so I mean, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that's kind of amazing, and I read a thing about that because I thought, why in the world is he doing these commercials
Yeah.
for the general insurance? And he when he was younger and had no money, that's what insurance they had. So he had it personally in his life, and so he was like, so yeah, I'll do that, which is kind of amazing.
Yeah.
You think about it, but he was like, yeah, hey, the general, he saved us.
we're teaching you everything on this program, everything.
Yeah, it was kind of just like a rambling.
This
It's
is
kind of a meeting of the minds.
this is pretty much how every meeting with this group goes. We start down one road, and then we're over here, and then we're back over there. So just bear with us, folks. You
Yeah,
might get something out of this. You might be entertained. You might just point and laugh, but we hope you enjoy it.
This is if you're not getting to go see friends, this is what it's like. Except you can change the channel, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. You can just click out. Now, okay, just as a point, I'm just going to say this: Tim Burton, The Nightmare Before Christmas movie or Halloween movie to you guys?
It's a Halloween movie.
To me, it's a Halloween movie.
Yeah.
I don't think it belongs with the Christmas movies.
It feels more Halloween to me.
Okay,
I mean, the whole vibe is Halloween.
it's more Halloween than
Yeah.
the Christmas part.
proof that the amount of Night Before Christmas merch is still a hot topic. It's a Halloween movie. Just kidding.
For all the goth kids.
We love goth children.
your emo kids. Do we want? Are we going to go down this path? Are we going to talk about Rankin and Bass?
Let's do it. Why not?
Why not? We're
One
here.
cannot see movies on Freeform without seeing a Rankin and Bass special. So we'll start with that. The original one, the one that everybody knows, is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and which was in 1964, starring Burl Ives, which everybody knows as the Snowman. Now, I have a personal story I'm going to relate about this. This happened to me just last week. CBS was doing their traditional airing of the show. I have YouTube TV at home. I went to YouTube TV to watch CBS, and it said blocked in your area, that you could not watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer because YouTube did not have the right to broadcast it, even though I'm paying to watch CBS on YouTube. So I went. This is you talk about me in the movies. I went and got my dollar copy I had on DVD of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and I watched it. And that, children, is why you have physical media. Because people will try to block you. So there you go. That's my personal dig on that. But in researching for this show, I found out, and I did not know any of this, and I should have known it, but I didn't because it had all slipped into antiquity. But in the original show, Santa didn't rescue the misfit toys. So Rudolph tells him about the misfit toys, and then Rudolph leads the sleigh, and then that's the end of it.
So we don't ever get to see.
So there was no closure, and so people wrote in a letter campaign, and in 1965 they redid the ending and put the rescuing of the misfit toys. Now, because they did that, they had to cut stuff because they added, another segment. So they had to cut some. So they sped up the elf song where they sing at the beginning, "We are Santa's elves" or whatever. They cut out a chorus of it and they sped it up. Which I watched the original on YouTube, and it was long. It was longer and drawn out than it needed to be anyway. And so that happened. They did that on the original ending, and I remember this. I don't know when they changed the original ending, but I remember the elf being behind Santa in the sleigh and pulling up the boxes with the credits on them. that would say Rankin and Bass or whatever, or this guy did this, and then he throws them out as he throws the presents out. Well, when they put the Misfit toys in, then he drops off the Misfit toys. So they all have like umbrellas. He's giving them umbrellas so they land safely. Mm-hmm. But the little elf is. But anyway, I remember them showing both. I remember him dropping off the toys. I think that changed at a later date. I know this is getting way too into this. Anyway, because this thing has been on since 1964, it's aired on ABC and NBC. And when it went to ABC and NBC, they took out the song "We're a Couple of Misfits," which is what everybody kind of knows from the show. And they replaced it with a song called "Fame and Fortune," which the elf and Rudolph walk around singing "Fame and Fortune." And I remember that too. I remember seeing that too. But then CBS got the rights back and they put the Misfit song back in. But they used the animation from "Fame and Fortune," where they were singing "Fame and Fortune," so their lips don't match if you ever are watching that. So, and I also found out that if you get it on DVD from FHE, then it's got the stuff from ABC and NBC with "Fame and Fortune. And if you get it on DVD from Sony Classics, then it has the Misfits song. So if you like either one better, who knew? But anyway, I found all this out. And this I did not know. And this is for Paige, because Paige is all about Yukon Cornelius. Yukon Cornelius licks his pickaxe looking for hoping to strike a peppermint mine and have his own peppermint mine. And they never explained that. And at the end of the original show, he hit snow and he tasted peppermint.
Okay, that makes me love Yukon Cornelius even more. Also, my deep love for peppermint. There you go, folks. And here's another full confession. Eric thinks my husband looks like Yukon Cornelius.
Yes, I do.
So there you are.
He does.
And,
you loved Yukon Cornelius so much. You married him.
I married
Yukon Cornelius.
Yukon Cornelius, who is actually a huge Rudolph fan. He loved Rudolph because he wanted to be a dentist, like the elf.
Cute. That's cute.
So there you go. Lots of things. My favorite Rudolph character is probably the Charlie in the Box from the Island of Misfit Toys. So
Trying to
Charlie,
school up on the actual characters.
He would be a Jack in the Box, but however, he's a Charlie in the Box, and he has a line in the movie that says, "Nobody wants a Charlie in the Box," which is
nobody
kind
wants
of
a Charlie in the box. He's got to say it like that.
Yeah, there you
Oh
go.
no, Mr. Bill.
Yeah, and then there's the water gun that only shoots jam.
Yes.
So.
And a train with a square wheel.
Square wheels on its caboose.
Oh,
Just
my
not just
God.
square wheels, but square wheels on its caboose. But you know.
So we know Paige's favorite character is Yukon. What's your favorite character? From
Oh,
this
it had
film?
to be Rudolph because I just
Rudolph?
Well, I don't know. I kind of like I probably look more like Burl Ives, but I always did like Burl Ives and liked it when he sung Silver and Gold in the show, and I was scared of the abominable snowman.
Oh really?
So yeah.
He's not too scary.
He was scary when I was a kid.
I like the elephant with the polka dots.
Yeah.
That's my guy right there.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
go
Who
with
wants a
him.
polka dot elephant, man?
I mean, why wouldn't you want a polka dot elephant?
What was the doll's problem? The doll's problem.
I don't remember the doll's problem.
Because she cried at the end of it, so she could cry. It wasn't like that. That wasn't a problem.
Didn't want a dolly that could cry, I guess.
Yeah. I don't remember. Anyway, there was the doll that was in it. But we were talking about Rankin and Bass before we did all this, and that's the company that did these. And they did that. They kind of became rock stars with Rudolph because everybody saw it that year, and it was so big they had the letter writing campaign and changed the end of it. But it got so big that they actually did a movie, and they did a movie called Mad Monster Party that was released in the theaters. That was had Boris Karloff back again and Phyllis Diller with Frankenstein, Dracula, and the Wolfman, and all of them. So, but it was released, and they did that animated movie, and then that was so popular, then they come back in '68 and did Little Drummer Boy.
Nice.
And we remember probably me and Paige remember watching Little Drummer Boy
Mm-hmm.
on national TV. Then by the 90s, they took it off and only showed it on Christian Network. So, because they thought, I guess it was a little too religious, but how can you be too religious at Christmas? But that's what they thought.
I saw it on TV. I think it was about 9. So yeah, that would have been,
And they sold the
2006.
VHS of it, so there's a lot of people had the VHS. I remember
Mm-hmm.
that. But and I always liked that one. I always thought it was good. Frosty the Snowman was the first one they did that was animated. That was 2D animated, that not Animagic, which was the stop motion they used.
Okay, so they did it as well.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and they did that as well, and that was 1969. And it had Jimmy Durante and Jackie Vernon, and Jackie Vernon was the voice of Frosty. And my mom always knew. I couldn't even find a picture of the man on the internet, but he was a comedian, and my mom was like, "Oh, that's Jackie Vernon." I remember her saying that when it first come on or whatever. But a lot of people forget Jimmy Durante was in that.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, but the really weird thing, and I've always thought this is really weird about Rankin and Bass, is the really funky stylized 70s lettering and stuff that they use. And Arthur Rankin and Jules Bass wanted to give the show and the characters a unique look of a Christmas card, so they got Paul Coker Jr., who was a greeting card artist and Mad Magazine artist, and hired him to draw the character designs and those letters. So that's why it looks so much like a Christmas card from that time period. And it was produced by Mushi Production in Tokyo, Japan. So they did the actual 2D animation. But Rankin and Bass would do that. They would have the Animagic versions, and then they would have the cartoon animated versions. And they did a cartoon animated version of Mad Monster Party too. That was later. That was cartoon as well. But I'm just rambling here. But one of my favorite ones that they never show anymore is Here Comes Peter Cottontail, which I know it's the different religious holiday, but it came out in 1971 and it was hosted by Danny Kaye. But the bad guy was Vincent Price, and he was a bunny who had lost his tail. His name was Iron Tail. He had replaced his tail with an iron tail, but it was Vincent Price, and you hear Vincent Price, and you knew who he was. You knew it was Vincent Price. So I always loved that one as a kid. So that's kind of right up there. This is where Tim Burton got all of that. Like the Mad Monster Party is kind of a big inspiration for Nightmare Before Christmas, and also probably that Here Comes Peter Cottontail. But then I got old, and all the ones after this, I always thought were kind of has-beens, and I didn't think they were as good, and I didn't ever watch them, and I didn't like them that much. Is there any of these that appeal to you guys? Because they have the list in front of them.
We do have the list in front of us, and it just so happened that the last Saturday on, I think it was AMC, I could be wrong about that.
No, I think it is AMC.
They aired Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July. And we watched part of it. I don't know that we made it through the entire episode, but it was quite interesting. And I learned in that show that Frosty's wife, her name is Crystal. So there you go. Should it ever come up, there's your trivia for today.
Shout out, Mom.
Yeah, shout out to your mom. But in that particular movie, Ethel Merman was one of the characters. And that's one thing I think that's pretty impressive is they have big name actors for this time voicing many of these characters.
Yeah, and they did it first. A lot of people think about Disney doing that now, but Rankin and Bass was the first people to get known actors to do it. So
yeah, and as we look down our list here, Buddy Hackett in Jack Frost, Roger Miller in Nestor, the long-eared Christmas donkey.
Now, I remember that one, and I had not seen it in a long time, but when I saw Nestor, I remembered that name.
Mm-hmm.
But Roger Miller is great.
And Rudolph makes several appearances on this list. He's got Rudolph's Shiny New Year, which had Red Skelton in it. So there's a lot of opportunities to watch Rudolph without watching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
I mean,
that's true.
That was like Rankin and Bass's Mario. It had to be in everything, right?
Well, yeah, he was so popular, and they knew he was popular. But one of my favorites that I liked was Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and had Fred Astaire, Mickey Rooney, and Keenan Wynn. Now, a lot of people don't know who Keenan Wynn is now, but I'll flash up a picture. If you see this guy, you know who he is. He played, I think he was somebody's dad on a detective show. I think it was Simon and Simon or something like that. He was one of the guy's dads or something. But anyway, Keenan Wynn was very well known Broadway actor, and that's why when you hear these songs, they sound so good, they sound so catchy, is because all these guys did Broadway. You got Fred Astaire, Mickey Rooney, Keenan Wynn. That's the one with Burgermeister Meisterburger. Remember? Burgermeister Meisterburger? But anyway, that one, like I say, after probably about, I can look at the calendar on this, and probably after about 1974, I was like, nope, didn't watch it.
You put one foot in front of the video.
And we loved that. Yeah, that's Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and we loved that one. And that's actually, I actually have that. There's a Christmas CD that Nickelodeon put out that has songs from all the Christmas specials. It's like a Nick at Night Christmas kind of thing.
Interesting.
And has all the Christmas special songs. Like, we haven't even mentioned Peanuts. Peanuts is, which has been hijacked by Apple.
Apparently.
But they're letting them show it on PBS for free. So they will be showing Charlie Brown Christmas uninterrupted, no commercials, on PBS, and you can watch it that way.
Legend says that if they show it on PBS, that Tim Cook's heart will grow 2 sizes.
Or his wallet.
Unless you own physical media of Peanuts.
Yeah, then you don't have to mess.
Then you don't have to mess with it.
It's actually on YouTube, and you can just look at it.
Oh, that's
if you really want to look at it. But if you want to see it, I mean, they're showing it for free on Apple TV too. If you have Apple TV on your TV, so you can watch it. You know, they're not really. They've kind of hijacked it, but they kind of got caught with the Halloween one, so now they're trying to be nice.
You know, we're sitting here, we're talking about all the ways to watch this. Eric, when we were kids, you had to wait for Rudolph to come on.
And it was on once.
You had to wait for, Peanuts Christmas to come on. And it was on once. Frosty was on once. It wasn't like you could watch it every day if you wanted to. Of course, parents probably would be unplugging the TV. But, it was a big deal. You tried to schedule things around.
You scheduled time around TV time. Yeah, you knew.
You did not want, your sister's Christmas play to be on the night that Frosty was on. I mean,
Shucks, I'll see it next year.
That's true.
You had to wait until next year.
Well, and usually CBS or whoever was showing them, they would show them on Wednesday night. So it was usually like Wednesday night at 8 or Wednesday night at 8:30. And so like through the month of December, like one week would be Charlie Brown, and then the next week would be like Rudolph and Frosty. And then, so it was kind of like each Wednesday night. So, like, you were like, Mom, don't make us go to church this Wednesday. Please. We want to see Rudolph. But that would happen. Now, when I was growing up, there was a network, independent network that would syndicate to all the local stations, and it was called SFM. And SFM would do holiday specials. And one that they had was A Christmas Carol that was animated by a guy in England, but it was produced by Chuck Jones, who did the Grinch that we talked about. And the guy won an Academy Award for it, and it's hand-drawn, and it is really creepy. And SFM would drag it out to about an hour because they would put commercials in it. But or it was 30 minutes. They made it 30 minutes. It just seemed like there was a lot of commercials. But it was very creepy, and there was one point where Marley removes the bandage on his head and his jaw falls, and it was terrifying as a child.
I remember that version.
Terrifying. And his jaw just like, and you're oh my God, it was that was the scariest part. Then the rest of it we were okay. But anyway, that would air, like, you could see that all through the month. Like, it would air on each different stations on each weekend. It seemed like, because it was syndicated. And so it's weird. It's weird. But we only had, I remember us having 2 or 3 channels.
I live in Collinsville. We only had 2.
I live in Collinsville. All we had was floods and 2 channels.
We were next to High Brighton Mountain, so we only got the 2. And that's when cable came to town. My dad was right there with his money. Here, we want to be able to watch TV.
My dad was like, 2 channels, that's enough.
No, my dad
now he's got like 1,000, so there you go, friends.
Now, my dad was hoping he'd see racing, I guess. That was before racing was on TV as a regular thing. Because we grew up with the Motor Racing Network, which was on the radio.
That's fantastic.
So you would listen to the race. That's all you heard. Trouble in turn 3. That's all you heard. That was it.
That pretty much sums up the Motor Racing Network,
That's
folks.
Motor Racing Network right there. But and not only that, like you get out of church. This is really bad. You get out of church, and the fish camp didn't open until 1 because they had church. So you sit in the parking lot. You got out of church, and you went and sit in the parking lot at the fish camp for an hour listening to MRN. Because the race would start at noon, and then you would listen to MRN and then go in and eat your fish, and then come back out, and then go, okay, where they at? How's it going? And then, if they were broadcast, you would go home and watch it. You would go home and watch the rest of the race. But it was
Blow
just,
my mind today.
it was just boom. It was constant. It was constant. So, but do you guys have any recommendations? Is there any movies a Christmas movie you haven't seen, and then a Christmas movie that you would like, a Christmas movie you haven't seen you'd like to see, and then a Christmas movie you would recommend?
Let's see. Well, I haven't seen the Home Alone 4, so I
don't know if I'd recommend it. It's okay.
I mean, all these. I was like you. I haven't seen any of these like more recent.
I've seen them.
back.
It's just like It's like It just don't have that magic to me. I guess I don't know.
And I've never seen Deck the Halls.
You never I had never seen Deck the
I've
Halls,
never
and that's
seen
why it was on the list of movies for Freeform this year for 25 Days of Christmas, and I went and watched the trailer, and it looks really interesting.
I don't think I've seen Deck the Halls. And Matthew Broderick, Danny DeVito, I think I'm going to check that out on Freeform.
And yeah, it's airing all through this month.
If you ever wanted to see a Christmas movie with Ferris Bueller and the Penguin, this is the one for you.
There you go. And it looked pretty funny. Now, do you have a Christmas movie that you would recommend? One that you're really wanting to see?
That I always watch?
Well, that you would recommend to other people that you think is just that they may have not seen it or
They
give
may
this
have
a
not seen
shot.
it. Well, if you haven't seen It's a Wonderful Life, you should absolutely see it. But I think
And that's not on here. We didn't put It's a Wonderful Life this year.
It's fantastic. Just
Now in
love
4K.
it. Exactly. Have it on the 4Ks. Should have brought the steelbook. It's very beautiful. That's probably my favorite Christmas movie, and it's one I have to see every year.
It's a long movie. How long is that movie?
It's about 2 hours, 30 minutes.
Yeah,
You know,
it's a long movie.
Yeah.
It's good, but it's a long movie. But when they put commercials in, it's about 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a prime time night of viewing.
That's a winner right there.
But it's got to pay off, people. It's got to pay off. That's why it's...
Oh my gosh! So I watched very recently, Holiday Inn with Bing Crosby. Have you seen it?
Yeah, yes.
Oh my gosh! There are so many like scandalous things in that film, and I'm like,
I don't remember Scandalous, so I
is-
guess I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
It's just a few questionable things that 2020 would look down upon, but it was actually sort of enjoyable. But a lot of dancing, a lot of singing. So if you like a lot of dancing, a lot of singing, Holiday Inn. Yeah, I have it on Blu-ray because it was $1 trade.
Is that the one that he sings White Christmas in?
No, that is actually White Christmas.
Oh, it is White Christmas. Durr.
Yeah, that's a great film too.
But they sing some. There's some popular song from that. It seemed like there was.
From
Is
Holiday
it just
Inn.
a stuff because it's him and Danny Kaye, isn't it?
Mhm. Yes.
It's him and Danny Kaye.
I don't know if anyone that was like particular to that film, but I mean they do sing all the
Okay.
and he does sing White Christmas in it, but it's not like a big deal. It's like
Oh,
just a
okay.
little
Yeah.
bit. It's like one verse.
Oh, he just sings one verse.
One verse, because
Okay.
like I guess that because he's Bing Crosby, you have to get him to sing it, and then
Well, yeah, it was a big hit for Bing Crosby.
that was the biggest, best-selling single of all time.
Wow.
Wow.
Period in all music.
Good
White
grief.
Christmas.
White Christmas.
So.
Did not know that.
But to me, the most scandalous thing about it, and the thing that really bothers me, is the Carolina Fight song, and them doing the Carolina Fight song on the train.
Oh yeah.
Because they're riding on the train, and all these guys are going to a game for Carolina, and they do the Carolina Fight. Don't they do the
Yeah.
Carolina Fight song
Dun, dun, dun,
in
dun,
1940, whatever,
Oh, you
whenever
like
it was
that?
coming out?
Let's go.
Yeah, so it does have the Carolina Fight song. If you're sitting there, you're like, Carolina.
Oh,
All us
Amazing.
Duke fans, you're like, ugh.
It's a short scene though.
It's a very short scene. It's
It's
very
not
forgettable.
It's not like the whole movie.
Yeah.
Paige, do you have a film that you're hoping to see and then at the same time one to recommend?
I enjoy Christmas with the Cranks. It is based on a book by John Grisham called Skipping Christmas. The concept is empty nesters. They decide instead of celebrating Christmas, they are going to the islands. Well, their daughter surprises them and comes home for Christmas, and it's about the scramble to put Christmas back together.
That sounds very stressful.
It sounds very stressful, but it's funny. The book's a little sadder. There's a little more drama. If you read
Yeah,
the
it sounds
book.
like it would be more emotional. I
It's
guess.
more emotional. The movie version is actually pretty funny when you see them scrambling to put up their Christmas lights and stealing the neighbor's Christmas tree, which I don't advocate. So
The tanning bed scene is so funny.
A tanning
she
bed
runs through the
scene.
mall like half naked.
So yeah, there's a lot of really
Mm-hmm.
cute scenes in that. I also like Fred Claus.
Oh gosh, she likes the comedy Christmas
I
movies.
do like the comedy
Vince Vaughn.
Christmas movie. Vince Vaughn is Santa Claus's, I don't want to say evil brother, maybe troubled brother,
Scrooge brother. There you go.
Scrooge brother. He feels a little left out. So if you're the sibling that has been left out of the family because you have the perfect brother or sister, then Fred Claus is definitely for you.
Okay. I have seen Fred Claus. I kind of forgot about that one. But one of my personal favorite movies that I like to recommend to people is a movie called About a Boy. And it came out in 2002, and it stars Hugh Grant, Toni Collette, Rachel Weisz, and Nicholas Hoult, which Nicholas Hoult is like 10 or 11. He's like really young. And it's about a confirmed bachelor who's Hugh Grant, and he kind of gets adopted by this boy in the neighborhood. And it's Nicholas Hoult, and he is kind of trying to fix him up with his mother, and you're like, is he going to end up with the mother or somebody else? But it's just a funny movie, and it's based on a book. I can't remember the author's name. I should have put that down. But it's the same guy that wrote High Infidelity, and the John Cusack movie.
Yeah.
And which is all British, but they did it with John Cusack. But, whatever. But anyway, if you get a chance to watch it, About a Boy is really good. But Hugh Grant is... The reason he's a confirmed bachelor, I didn't really talk about this part, but the reason he's a confirmed bachelor is his dad had written a famous Christmas song in England. And he's walking through the grocery store at the beginning of the movie, and it comes over the loudspeaker like in November, and he's just going, oh, God, it's just November. He's really like, really? Are you guys playing it? But that's where he got all his money. It's because of this famous song. So he doesn't have to work or do anything, and he's just like this bachelor that just buys what he wants and does what he wants. And
Sweet.
And he's just, it's kind of funny. But he sits at times when he's depressed, he sits and watches Boris Karloff as Frankenstein, and I think Bride of Frankenstein, and they keep showing the scene where he says, alone, bad. But it's a really touching movie. You got Rachel Weisz in it, and Hugh Grant, and it's just a lot of fun. Toni Collette can do anything. She's a great actress. And she has a good part in this as well.
We didn't talk about her greatest movie, probably the Halloween movie, Hereditary.
Hereditary.
Oh my God, she's the most terrifying human in the world. Oh my God.
But she can do anything. She's a great actress. She did some kind of show for Showtime where she had a split personality, and she did all these different people. And so,
Pretty impressive actress, gotta say.
Yeah. But I saw something with her recently, and she was doing had a bunch of outtakes. It was the movie Tammy with Melissa McCarthy, and I was watching the outtakes and the gag reel, and she messed up quite a lot. She would laugh whenever they did the funny lines,
right?
And so they kept having to stop. And I was like, man, I thought Toni Collette would be a little more pro than that.
That had to be part of your Dollar Tree funds, was it?
Oh yes, of course,
okay,
of
gotcha.
course.
Tammy, that's fantastic.
For those who don't know, Eric searches Dollar Tree for movies.
I've been haunting Dollar Tree lately, to the much of the chagrin of I'm on the naughty list at my house because I keep buying Dollar Tree movies. But which I would probably sneak out there today and see what they got, if they've got any new boxes in.
It only costs $1 if you only buy one.
But when you get to $70,
Oh.
you're pushing it. But you stop thinking about it, and you think about it, and it's like once a year. It's just this time of year that they really have that many.
Mhm.
Now they do it like once a month. They'll have what, 10 or 12, something like that.
Yeah, they'll do it every once in a while.
They'll do it every once in a
Yeah,
while.
We'll throw away movies that you'll probably never see and never want to see.
Well, the thing is, okay, I will say this, buyer beware, because we have Prime at home, Amazon Prime. And so what I find is I go and I buy these movies at Dollar Tree, and 9 times out of 10, they're available for free on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? Why did I buy this
Right.
cheap horror movie that means nothing to me? So
I think it's because Amazon's got like this Magnolia Pictures deal and all this
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
indie kind of stuff, and that's their bread and butter at Amazon Prime.
which I had a friend review Giant Spider Invasion, and I want to go back and watch it now. I haven't seen it since I was a kid, and so, but it's on Prime. It's free on Prime.
Everybody's
right now.
favorite Christmas movie.
Is yeah. Okay, there you go. What's your Christmas movie that most people wouldn't think is a Christmas movie that you consider a Christmas movie?
Batman Returns.
Yeah.
Or Die Hard. Or
Oh, well, Die Hard. Yeah.
Die Hard.
Die Hard. And you said Lethal Weapon last
Die
year.
Hard, Lethal
That was
Weapon. I
good.
do enjoy Lethal Weapon and Guilty Pleasure if you come by my house and there's nothing else on TV, but Lethal Weapon's on. I'll have it on in the background. I'm not going to lie.
Okay. What about the Mad Max movies? Are you just like a Mel Gibson person, or?
Not a big fan of the Mad Max. Don't,
Oh, okay. Just wondered.
it's definitely its own sect
it's
of
its own
film.
sect of film, and I've seen them, and I don't. Maybe it's a futuristic, apocalyptic whole thing.
Mhm.
Just not a fan.
Yeah, it's not a happy picture
It's
usually.
not a happy picture, and that's just not. I don't mind like the crime justice police, shoot them up, but once you go into apocalyptic, I'm out.
It reminds me of when Star Wars came out. A lady asked me at the theater. She said we were telling her about Star Wars and how great it was, and she said, "But I don't like war movies." We're trying to tell her, no, it's not
Trust me.
like that.
You'll like this one.
And that makes the perfect segue into the next
Oh.
thing, the Star Wars Holiday Special, which I don't know if you individuals have had the pleasure, because it only aired 1 year, 1978, and you can find bootleg copies of it throughout the internet. You can see some bits of it, and there are some people that if you go to conventions, they'll have it for sale. But it is incredibly horrible. Has the original Star Wars cast. Everybody but Darth Vader shows up. And I do remember the scene. They're sitting in the Millennium Falcon cockpit,
Mhm.
and it's Han and Chewie, and they're in office chairs because CBS didn't have a Millennium Falcon. So
And you
it's-
can like really tell.
you
it's
can
all-
really tell they're not in the Millennium Falcon cockpit.
And Harrison Ford agreed to this.
Oh yeah, apparently they got some bucks out of this. So he's in it. Carrie Fisher's in it. Carrie Fisher sings the whole story.
Carrie Fisher sings in this.
Yeah, because Carrie
Yeah.
Fisher's the daughter of Eddie Fisher, a famous singer, and also Debbie Reynolds, a famous Broadway
Famous.
singer.
Yeah.
So Carrie Fisher sings in the thing. But the whole thing is that Chewbacca is trying to get back home to Kashyyyk
Mhm.
for Life Day, which is the Star Wars holiday, Star Wars Christmas, and so he's trying to get back home to his family for Life Day, and Han's trying to help him, and it goes through all these different things. It has a comedy segment with Art Carney as a barkeep at the cantina. And it also has B. Arthur is there, and she sings. B. Arthur is a famous Broadway star. A lot of people they think of her from Golden Girls, but she was a famous Broadway star. And then also Richard Pryor does a bit of stand-up in it, because these were all people that were famous in 1978. But
What a legend.
the big draw to Star Wars fans, Lucas has said George Lucas has said he will never release this. So he'll have to die, and then Disney will put it out or something. But anyway. Because it's that bad. But so Chewbacca's trying to get home. But one of the big things about the whole movie, or the whole thing, is that it was the introduction of Boba Fett. Because Boba Fett, there's an animated sequence, and Boba Fett shows up, and he pretends to be their friend, but then you kind of find out he's a bad guy, and then but it's all animated.
That's adorable.
And when did he reappear? I mean, this is
Not till
1978.
this is 1978, so they already had planned what they were going to do for Empire, and they knew he was going to be in Empire, and then he shows up in Empire.
Yeah.
So, which was 1980.
Yeah.
So, Anyway, it was 40 years. We're sitting there talking about it. We're still talking about Star Wars 40 years ago. But anyway, the original concept of Boba Fett was for him to be in white armor, which is what they ended up with the clone troopers. But by this time, when that Christmas special comes out, he's got kind of colored armor, close to what he looks like in Empire.
So we gotta wait till George Lucas dies.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or
and
until-
probably if you're going to ever see it on the original releases, it has like something bigger than the DVDs that they have. Because they don't have it in 4K. They don't have it in... I mean, they got the movies in 4K, but it's all the special editions that George Lucas did in the 1990s.
That'd be funny if it was just like Ryan Johnson just shoots him. It'd be so funny.
No. I figure there's some kind of clause in there. There's some kind of Lucas clause that if he dies, then they can do whatever they want to, you know, so they can... You just wait until he... Let him pass before that happens, but... A lot of people were very mad because the special editions, when the special editions come out, they didn't re-up the scale. Like, I think the highest res you can get of the original cuts of the movies is 640 by 480.
Little tiny
Little tiny picture, square. And so now we're all up to 4K. There's 8K now. It's not come to us, but they have it out there waiting.
That's the thing about physical media is like I think it's gonna have to stop pretty soon. I mean, like 4K is barely fitting on one disc, and then with 8K you'd have to get like multiple discs for it to fit on
That's true.
that much storage.
Well,
So,
and like Disney has said, they won't do any more new 4Ks.
Yeah.
Unless it's a new property, they're not going to go back in the back catalog and make Parent Trap a 4K movie.
Oh, that's an awesome movie.
What was that lady's name again?
Oh, why do you ask me the hard questions?
Well, because I know I should know it. Is it? I want to say it's not Tuesday Weld. It's somebody else.
No.
She was Pollyanna. She was all them people. She was a dear Disney property.
Yeah.
See, when I was growing up, it was Kurt Russell was the computer who wore sneakers.
Dude, I love girls.
Do you need to go look those up?
I need to. That'd be amazing.
Kurt Russell was the computer who wore sneakers, and he was in all those movies.
There was a
On
lot
Disney.
of great Disney movies. We had Sunday night, Disney.
Well, see, I remember Jodie Foster from those because she was in Bad News Bears, and then she did one called Candlewick that I loved as a kid, which is just like her and David Niven in a old mansion in England.
Salvation in England.
Yeah.
Are they?
So, but it's crazy what Disney would go through with some of the movies.
Well, if you allow me.
Yes,
I
sir.
want to do one more thing.
Oh yeah, by all means.
Alba.
I hope we can do an on-camera unboxing and do some movie-themed gifts because I have movie-themed gifts for both of you.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
And I want
okay.
you to open them on camera because, it's for the people. We want it. I mean,
It's for the
millions of
peeps.
people watch unboxing videos on YouTube. They can watch, 5 seconds of you opening these.
Oh yeah. Sure.
So,
If-
this
and-
is for you.
Oh no, these are for real
is,
things.
Yeah,
he is
let's do
like
it.
These are for
serious.
real right
Can
now.
I like show
Let's do it.
Oh, I
the
thought this
beauty
was like
of these things? Because
No,
these
I
are
don't.
like way
Try to.
awesome.
this is a murder weapon. You could heft somebody. This at somebody.
This is super
we will,
awesome.
Oh, he's adjusting cameras.
He is adjusting
camera.
cameras.
We can
He
actually see
is.
you open
This
Well,
is serious, folks.
Well, I think ladies should go first though, unless there's a some kind of thing
is
for
there
this.
an order for this?
I don't
'Cause
know.
you can tell we're like not.
You can tell we're totally not prepared for this.
We are totally.
And my camera, I'm sinking. I'm sinking.
Oh
No! He's melting! He's melting! I didn't lock it back.
no!
Lock
Lord
that
have
thing.
mercy.
Lock that thing, boy.
We got such a high-class studio thing going on now.
Yeah.
We're going to have a separate thing of outtakes.
All right.
This could be the separate thing about takes right here,
See
folks. Okay. Luckily, ribbon slid off, so. Keegan likes tape. Let me just go ahead.
Is he a heavy rapper?
He is
Believe
a
me, if I wrap this good, you wouldn't get that good wrapping. That's
Oh,
what
you-
I'm doing.
Who did you
thank
pay to do this?
Miss Ma-
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
I see something cool already.
This is something way cool. I'm going to back up and tell everyone. I call the office, Keegan and Eric work in the toy box because they have displayed all of their collectibles DC, Marvel, Star Wars, and some sports memorabilia.
That's true.
I'm just impressed she knew all the titles there.
I'm impressed I could do that. Now, please don't call in and ask me who's DC and who's Marvel because I'm still learning.
That's okay. That's okay.
But my thing is Winnie the Pooh. So, folks, let's make memories together.
Aww.
This will be my first collectible theme thing in my office.
Nice.
There you go.
Thank you, Keegan.
Of course.
That is awesome.
Some more poo stuff.
More poo. Yes. My husband says we have a Christmas tree full of poo. Yeah.
But that's really neat. That's
That
a neat
is really
thing.
neat. Thank you.
Have you seen the most recent Winnie the Pooh movie?
The
Oh, is it the one with Christopher Robin?
the one with
Yes.
Christopher Robin? Yes, I have.
Oh my god. If you haven't seen the cutest movie of all time, watch Christopher Robin with Ewan McGregor. What a guy.
He is what a
Dude can
guy.
act.
Yeah, dude can act, and he's with the fair. And then
You gotta have movie,
you have to have maybe
Condiments.
snacks.
of course.
Oh,
And
okay.
because these guys know I've spent a lot of time dealing with COVID.
Godiva.
Godiva.
Not just snacks.
Not just snacks.
Good snacks.
Great snacks.
And I see
Okay.
I see something like that similar on mine. So sugar high.
Sugar
Not
high.
coming. Look at the nice name.
I mean,
They went all out.
they really went all out.
Thanks, Mom. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you doing that. That is, I mean, seriously. This is some
Actually,
serious
Mom
packaging.
really takes care of us. Yes, Mom.
I'm a little scared
I'm not
because he
scared.
wants me to open on camera. Oh, but it's opening very. I was surprised there was a area there. Oh. It is truly packed.
Oh yeah.
This is not going away. Oh my goodness.
Would you
My
open presents
nails.
on Christmas Eve or Christmas?
As a child, I had an uncle who had a birthday on Christmas Eve, so we celebrated his birthday. But this uncle and aunt happened to be like my second, third grandparents. So they
Aw.
would have special gifts for us, and we would open gifts with them on Christmas Eve. On Christmas Day, we opened gifts with my parents, but we went back to their house late on Christmas Day because Santa left us a stocking there.
Wow. So yeah.
Yeah, so when I tell people I'm spoiled really to the max because I had 2 stockings as a child and 2.
One for each foot.
One for each foot, and if my mom will let me have it, I should bring mine in and show it to you on our next Christmas episode. My stocking at their house stretches. And it's a handmade stocking, and it's really old now, but it actually kind of stretches, and my dad's always complaining, it's like, you can never get that thing full. So, anyway.
That's what a dad would say.
That's a dad comment right there. You can never get it full.
So what did you guys do?
So my Nana would make us wait till Christmas morning. But usually, after all the festivities were done on Christmas Eve, we would come back up to my house, which we lived right beside them. Come back up to my house and we would open whatever Mom and Dad had got for us. Which, one year I got Mace Windu lightsaber. I got the clone trooper helmet. It was pretty dope, gotta say. I had some good gifts over the years. I had a first act guitar. If you're the best guitar maker, first act, gotta love it. But that's basically the Christmas gifts I remember. And one year I got a baby doll and a comforter.
Please
Why?
explain.
Why? Yeah.
I don't know. My Nana was like, yeah, you need something practical, but you also need a toy, and I was gonna get a baby doll for her anyway, so I got a boy too, so I got a baby doll.
Well, there you go.
Hey, real men have baby dolls apparently.
Well, yeah. No, my grandfather always threatened us with buying us a Barbie or a baby doll.
No.
So he would say, "Oh, they would show Barbie's house or whatever," and he would say, "Oh, is that what you want? You want that?" I don't know why he always did. He just liked to read you or something. I guess he wanted to see you go, "No,
Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
no, I don't want that."
Just trying to get a reaction.
Yeah, just trying to get a reaction out of you. So I'm gonna keep opening. Now at my house we did Christmas Eve growing up, and then Christmas Day was just like the rents just didn't have to do a thing. So we did all of it Christmas Eve, and we went to all the family and everything and did it on Christmas Eve. And then so as I was growing up and started working, then I would always volunteer to work Christmas. So I worked at Blockbuster and they were open on Christmas Day. And I volunteered to work. I would always work because we did nothing on Christmas Day. Now we do everything Christmas morning,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's over. It's over pretty early. So
And you get that big letdown of like Boxing
no,
Day.
not a letdown.
Oh,
It's not a letdown. The older you get, it's not a letdown. I don't ever think it's a letdown, but
it's like, it's over.
no, it's like, oh,
I can
let's
listen to
take off.
regular music now.
Somebody actually.
No, you don't start listening to regular music until at least
Yeah,
January 2nd.
Yeah, somebody actually like walked with me to take the trash out. I didn't have to do it by myself.
You can still listen to Christmas music after.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh man, this is my Christmas. It's all the Universal movies, all the Universal horror movies, and we were just talking about Frankenstein. You got the Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Dracula, the Mummy, Invisible Man, and the Wolfman, and all of them are great films. And my goodness, thank you so much. That is like a dream for me right there, buddy.
That's the
That
best
is a
movie
dream.
man gift I could possibly think.
That it is. I love it all. I love every bit of it, and it's in a steelbook.
Oh, I love it.
It's in the steelbook. Got the nice steelbook art on it. That is sweet. Thank you so much. Oh, and it's got the digital. If you want it on digital,
I love it.
you got the digital as well. So I appreciate that so much. Thank you. And I want to see what my concessions are.
Oh, yeah, you
Yeah.
probably spoiled.
As a diabetic, I want to see what my concessions are.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sometimes
wait,
we forget about the Eric being a
No, it ain't
diabetic,
nothing to
and-
forget about because
and
Eric forgets
we-
about it often.
And we bring like, I don't know, 5 dozen cookies in and be like, here you go, guys.
Hey, just don't, if you come in the office, 20
Don't
minutes
judge.
later, don't expect me to be awake.
I mean, if you're gonna cheat on one day, it's gotta be Christmas.
Well, it's not. Are you kidding? I cheat every day. It's like moderation, dude.
Eric's
You gotta have
spoiler
some-
alert, buddy.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. Oh sweet.
Morgadao.
Salted.
Oh.
More good.
Gotta have concessions. When you go
I
to
got
movies.
concessions. I got the movie. I got concessions, and I just need to go sit in front of the TV now. Thank you so much.
Of
That is so
course.
cool. That is the coolest thing ever.
Merry Christmas, my fellow compatriots.
Well, Merry Christmas to you,
Merry
sir.
Christmas.
I actually have a gift for you under my tree. I could have brought.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know.
I
I
know.
We were Shanghaied.
Movie.
We were Shanghai. We were Shanghai.
We were
So I
Shanghaied
think
with
what
it.
this means is we've got to get back together and do another Christmas special. And
God, what would it be?
I
Are
don't
you talking
know.
about this year or are you talking about next year?
Well, we might just have to get back together, and I don't know. We might have to do New Year's and resolutions and.
We still haven't talked about our favorite songs. We talked about albums, but we didn't talk about songs.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So we
wow.
got Christmas
Carols.
music.
We've
Yeah.
got Christmas
Oh, okay.
music.
So we'll do Christmas music.
Maybe next week.
Maybe next week. Are you guys up for that? I hope so, because,
Is this a Dora moment?
you're our, well, it's our dorm. Tell Boots he needs to get over the river. That's what Boots needs to do. But anyway, I'm leaning down. It's okay. He's trying to fix my shot. But I was going to get to a point where I could edit it. But so we'll talk Christmas music next time. That's a good thing to do.
Let's do it.
Thank you for watching, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you guys for watching. Merry Christmas.
And if you stayed through this whole thing,
Bless you.
thank you so much for watching, and have a great new year. We here at Caldwell County want nothing but the best for everybody, and bless you and your family, and let's have a great 2021 because we gotta go up. It's gotta get
It's
better.
only up from here, folks.
It's only up
Only
from
up.
here, man. Once every 100 years you get a pandemic, and this is ours, so we'll get through it and get out of here. So thank you so much.